Hi guys, welcome to Train Sim TV. Welcome to the Cumbrian Coast and Furness Railway Part 2. In this video we're going to be focusing on the route this time between Barrow and Carnforth with this rather striking 31. It's the infrastructure livery which is available from Vulcan Productions. This scenario is available from Alan Thompson Sim. I just want to do it a little bit different as well, rather than doing the same stuff that I've been driving for the past God knows how many months whilst making the route. So yeah, we're starting the carriage sidings here at Barrow, and we're going to take this scenario as far as Carnforth. It does run as far as Preston, and then that section probably will come for the third part of the videos of the route release series. Good morning. You found yourself here in the carriage sidings following the arrival of 2 Charlie 47 so that you could run around. This has now been carried out, so when you're ready, you may proceed into the station for your booked 09:22 departure. Right, let's get that turned off. Let's get our headlights on there and the top lights. Let's get our cab set up. Oh, we don't have a key on this. Opposite way around on the PVC. I've got to go all the way to reverse for it to go forward. Bit weird, but it's the way it is, unfortunately. Right. Into platform 2, so we'll take the brakes off. But it's 5 mile an hour coming out of the sidings. Right, off we go. So we are doing a all station stop service, I believe. So we're stopping near Barrow, Roos, Dalton, then Ulverston, Carmel, Kent's Bank, Grange Over Sands, Arnside and Silverdale before then going to Carnforth. It will also then call at Lancaster and Preston, which we'll do on the last of the 3 videos I had planned for this. This is on the briefing. Good morning. So after moving from the carriage sidings, you were due off at 09:22. You'll be calling every station to Preston. We're due at 10:45. Have a nice trip. I see some scenarios actually starting in the yard as well. Went to quite a lot of lengths to get the sidings working properly. It was a bit of a nightmare. I had to put some hidden signals in, so you'll see extra signals in there. It's just so AI would actually operate correctly. As really, in the real world, there's only so many signals, there's only a few. I've had to put the extra in just so stuff wouldn't actually drive off and it would cause like the conflicts and stuff like that. It's all behaving as it should, which is good. I actually saw this scenario and played a little bit last night, well the night before recording, on DJ App's stream. It was nice to see it as well. I had this in me plans to do anyway as this video, but just to see it, it sounded absolutely mega, especially coming away from the station. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Let's get some clag on. We want the clag, and we're also going to want the motors up, and probably going to say Control and T. Get the thrash mode on, aren't we? That's what we need. So we are on 2 Juliet 90 as well, which is the L922 Barrow, Furness to Manchester, Victoria working. So Slightly made a little bit of a balls up there coming to the station, as you may have noticed. I tried to be a little bit clever with the arty shots there, and unfortunately when I click record to do a new video, I forgot to click on the screen to actually apply my brakes, so that's how come we managed to slightly creep through, but never mind. These things happen. It wouldn't be a Tom video or Tom stream without one of these monumental farces, but never mind. We will press on. So as always, the route and scenario descriptions are in the comment in the description stuff below, so all the links are in there for you. Do take a look. Route is still on version 1.2, hasn't changed since our last video, so it'll probably stay at 1.2 for quite a while, I would suspect now, unless anything major crops up. Just a little mooch on the map, see if there's anything around the corner, but it looks like there's nothing just at the moment. I suspect there'll be a few bits possibly to pass. I'm not sure if it's going to be a quiet one or not, to be quite fair. There's something up there. Probably there'll be a unit up there, most likely. Looks like we passed a couple of AI on our run. Right, well, we've got about 4 or 5 minutes, so what I'll do is I'll async it and we'll watch the departure from over the footbridge up there, and we'll join the train in a few minutes. We've got a number of things to see on our way as well. So we've got stuff like Salthouse junction to the dock, which is Barrow Ramsden dock. So we'll take a little look at that as we go by. We've got Furness Abbey as well. There's the viaducts as well, which is 11 viaduct. We've got Kent's viaduct, which is at Arnside. There's all sorts of bits and pieces along the way to see. As well, the number of stations to show up. You'll see them in the dev diaries, but obviously this is the finished piece. So already we're getting a 40-mile-an-hour warning for Salthouse Junction. I'm going to try and be clever here as well. I'm going to try and drive this without the hood. I should know the route really now, the amount of times I've driven it, and of course working on it. Whilst I've driven the 31 as well, so it's nice to come and do something a little bit different for a video. I've got my FPS counter up in the top right corner now. I think I might have had it on the last video. It was actually grey. It's now been set to green, so you should be able to see that on the actual video. Just to give you an idea of how the route's performance is. As it's a staple bit of commentary and chat at the moment. Just going over Salthouse Viaduct there. So I'll do is quickly, I'm just going to pause that here, just while we're at the dock. So you've got, I'm not quite sure what this was, it's a little reservoir as such. It must have been some form of industry. There was loads of industry around it. There used to be more railways. I believe there used to be a railway that used to go around the banking, sort of come around on itself. There was loads of stuff over here. There's still a few little bits of industry left over. Not much, but there's a few items still in there at least. You also, I believe, used to have a railway that sort of went off in that direction as well. Just let everything load in there. The items were in there. There we go. Yeah, so there's a bit more industry over there as well. Some, I'm not quite sure what they are, to be quite honest. I'm just going to make things up, otherwise I won't, because I'll end up getting it wrong. So yeah, this is the line that goes down to the dock. Not massive in detail, because it was very hard to find reference, but I've done a bit of a mock-up of it at least, just to give you somewhere to run freight. This will probably get more use once we take the route further north, up towards Sellafield, because you can do the workings that go up to Drigg and Sellafield from here, and all that. It's a cool little representation at least, and it just gives you something else to do. Not seen any scenarios yet for this, but fingers crossed someone may create something for it and we can have a little play on there one day. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much on that end of the route. Again, it was just something I wanted to provide a little bit extra. It's not too far from Ruse either. It's literally just around the bend, so we're going to get ourselves ready for slowing down in a minute. And this is the fun thing, is trying to get ourselves slowing down and stopping in the right place without me messing it up. We've tried to keep the build detail to a high quality as much as we can, without trying to kill the game. And what you'll see as well is we go into, currently on this is the core built section of the route, which ends at Lindell Tunnel, and it goes into where the merge came in from the workshop route, which was the Morecambe Bay Furness route from Filter. Again, who we thank massively for allowing us to merge his route in there, and also thanks to Ian McKay who did the merge for us on that part. Without their help, wouldn't be very much where we are today. And of course also the press bit, which we'll see later on the next video, what we do for the route. That will be that's helped with Speedy Pete Mitchell. He helped us get that in and have Preston how it looks. So, I'm not going to pause there for a second. Ruse, literally a little tiny station, not much here. There's a couple of shelters, 2 short platforms, a bit of disused on there as well. It's a pretty simple one, really. Most of the stations, well, I think apart from one, which I think is one station, which is at Grange Over Sands, which is custom from Stainmore. All the stations are actually kit bashed. There's a couple of minor assets used, one at Arnside, 2 at Arnside, shall I say, actually, which came from Stainmore. Grange Over Sands is a custom from Stainmore as well. In the station department, on this section, those ones are the customs. The main thing what we've done is at least capture the signage, so we've gone for the custom signage which Jack Hales has put together for us on this section of the route. Even with that stuff, the trains to Lancaster and that, and trains to Barrow, we want to capture that little feel, even with all having the stickers on the northern signage as well. Moving on is Dalton and Furness next. So we'll pass Furness Abbey shortly, not too far away. Be working this thing. Quite a few coach on this as well. Warning, I think it's 40. You have as well here houses that are still being built, so in the time scale when this route was actually based on, these housing estate areas were all still been put together, so you'll see some that actually have been finished and they are like used by people now. Some have still got scaffolding up, as it was around the research time, what we found. Parkhouse Farm coming up in the distance just on the left, which is you'll see on the curve. There's a little crossing there as well. Then we head towards where Furness Tunnel is. Please note, it may not be working, the tunnel. There is an issue with the tunnel hole decals, which unfortunately is a TS bug rather than an in-house bug from ourselves. We just can't fix it, unfortunately. I've tried replacing it a few times, it just doesn't want to budge. And the same issue is now cropping up on the Harrogate loop, annoyingly. Where it's just not forming the actual hole for the tunnel, so it literally looks like you're going through a landslip. It's just something we cannot fathom or fix. I will persevere and try and fix it, but I can't promise anything, unfortunately. So you just have to sort of blink as you go through. We'll start going into the tree line section, which takes us to the tunnel. And we're at the magic speed of 40 currently. Quite a stagger. It stays 40 mile an hour now for, I'm just trying to think how far. It's just before Ulverston. So it's quite a bit of a stagger. Well, I eat my words. Lo and behold, the tunnel's working. Perfect. Just what we want for the video. When we show anything that's broken. Well, it's working for me at the minute, so fingers crossed it might be working for you guys. We're just going past Furness Abbey here as well. Just pause it for a second there, so just take you for a look for the ruins. So these were put together by Callum. It's a custom asset for the route. Really love the just the way it looks. Couldn't have kit bashed this. There's just no way we could have done this as a kit bash. It just wouldn't have looked right, I don't think. So with what Callum's done here, he's done a fantastic job of capturing that knackered look. Even got sections that have fallen over on the floor as well there. And we have kit bashed a few of these walls in, but other than that, the main structure there is all as is. We've put these few little bits of stone sections in, and when I speak of kit bashing, we literally kit bashed that. That wasn't too bad. We were able to do that without difficulty. Used to be Furness Abbey Station here as well, long gone. Bit of Barrow. So you see this gradient here as well. We like to call this the roller coaster. Absolutely crazy it is. When we were working on the route earlier on, like last January, we looked at this gradient thinking, has it been done right? We thought, well, when I say we thought well, Mark thought he'd done it wrong, so we had to sort of like look, and it turns out it's right. It's just crazy, such a steep gradient for such a short amount of space. That's why we call it the roller coaster. It just looks like a roller coaster. If you zoom right in as well, it's mad. We're coming up to the site of Dalton Junction. So we've got Dalton Junction signal box and the avoider line that comes in. So you saw in the last video where we turned off. So if I just pause there again for a second and show you, we turned off to go to Barrow on the last video here. So we took the single line that way, which obviously going this way cuts a huge chunk of route off. It's literally just around there to join back on here. Got another custom signal box, as I say there, which was one that's been put together by Jack Hales. Lovely box. Quite a tricky one as well, in terms of where it is actually situated. It's on quite a steep bank, so we had to have all that moulding as well. I won't show you it because I don't want to show anything off too much, because there's things that you can go and have a look and find for yourselves, you see. This is Dalton Tunnel. Something we were trying to do was get the signs for the tunnels. Unfortunately, just couldn't find decent imagery showing that the information, what was on how the signs looked. Something maybe down the line, if we can find the actual, get some decent source for that, we may be able to add them at a later date. Would be nice. Got an idea of how they look. It's just I don't want to wing it and ask like, okay, can such and such like, could they make us a sign? It wants to be like this. Then I get it wrong and swallow. So it's just easy at this point just to not have it in for now. This is Dalton Station. Just take you for a quick look around while the doors are open. So again, same again, not massively much here. Bit of a bigger building. Again, all kit bashed. Asset from Seton Carlisle, I believe. I think that one is. Which station was that? I can't quite remember. But yeah, Dalton Station. I was about to say it's come from Dalton, but yeah, it's just a sign. Again, we've just gone for custom signs at least to give it that look. Trains to Lancaster in the south. They're not all the same either. Some of them actually say like extra on them. Little walkway that takes you through to the road there as well. Dalton was one of these places that just seemed to take forever to build. I mean, if you look at this view now, you can just see how much work's gone into the area. I think it took the best part of nearly 3 months to finish this whole section scene. And that was working nightly as well on it. And the amount of streams that I put into it as well, it just seemed to go on and on and on. Doesn't help that it's in a sort of like a dip and then on a hill. This side wasn't so bad, it's pretty more basic. And it goes off into the cutting down there towards Lindell Tunnel. And I put my wipers on apparently. So we're currently climbing the one in 97 now towards Lindell Tunnel. Summit's in the tunnel. Will we make it to 40? Who knows? Probably if we're going downhill. Love this scene as well, going into the in the cutting, all the rock faces and that. Callum done some really nice on-track common library rocks, which originally I was using the DTG ones, and I found these which I never knew anything about, but we're having them ones in them, won't we? Just a lot more detail, and they've got loads of like cutouts in the face of the rock and stuff. You can see here now, you can see all the detail that's been put into them. It looks like a face. Bit of a nose on it. So we're into Lindell Tunnel there, which is where the summit is. I believe as well somewhere around here there is a old mining loco trapped inside a tunnel somewhere around here. So this is actually the section of route here is now on the workshop route. However, we have given it a good upgrade, brought it to the same standards as the rest of the route. Worked on all the trackside foliage and given it a lot of new clutter. There were some sections that needed finishing off as well, such as some of the distant terrain and scenery, terrain paint as well as such. So all those got tidied up and added in. just to get it where it is today. Next station for us as well is is it Carnforth? No, it's not. It's Ulverston. Sorry, Ulverston and Carnforth. God, I don't even know my own route. That area around there as well, Lindell, was quite a big mining area. So there used to be a load of routes around there. I'll say there was a loco that's been trapped. Not quite sure the actual site location, but definitely something to look up and maybe have a look at if into your railway history. Just keeping it at 40, and then we do go up to 60 for about 2 seconds, and go back down to 20 when we get to Ulverston. For the sake of it, you probably just keep it at 40 going all the way through into the station. Pretty pointless for the 60-mile-an-hour section. The main road into Barrow is a bit quiet down the left there. I used to travel to Barrow quite a lot as well, younger, sort of like just after I finished school. I used to work for a double glazing company, so we used to actually take units windows, like sealed windows, to companies around the Cumbria area. And there was a couple in Barrow I used to go to. I always remember going over that bridge, we'd just gone under there, and always looking over the bridge to see if there's anything passing. And the amount of times I must have gone over there over the space of about 4 or 5 years, never did I see a train. It's quite mad, really. I was in hope of maybe seeing something with it on the nukes or something like that, but just never did. I was just one of the unlucky ones. It's just down there, Ulverston. It's just around that corner, so we can see where I can just about make out the board. Just about after, not this first one, the second bridge just before, you can see the speed board. So it ups there ever so slightly for a few seconds, as I say, and it drops back down to 20 at the end of Ulverston Station. There's more for the 40, however we'll see here now it ups. Just to catch you out. There's no point putting the power on because you'll go too fast going downhill still. That's the other issue. You're still going downhill to the station. You can see where the gradient level's off just by the signal box down there. But then you've got that sharp curve into the station and the 20s at the end. So you might as well just start putting your brakes on, because otherwise you'll run into all sorts of problems. It's a very sharp curve. There's lovely semaphores on the old gantries there. How long they will last, who knows. They're still operating today, but I'm not sure how long they've got left. We've got a Ulverston box there, which is a custom as well. As I was saying on the other video, that one of the main aims was to make sure all the signal boxes were custom, even updating ones off West Coast over Shap. So Hessbank was one that got upgraded on there. Bear Lane didn't, because it had been knocked down before the route was set, so that doesn't exist. But any that were there, we upgraded. So stuff at Carnforth was updated as well, which you'll see when we get there. So an island platform arrangement here. Got the old cattle platform, I believe this is. So cattle trains, I think, used to sort of load up here many years ago. So a bit of work's been done here. Some of it is as it was from the workshop route. The canopies still exist, the same style of buildings, but the buildings have been reskinned, and the platform has been made. The base platform and subway have been done as a custom, just so it had the right look. Because obviously, as you're looking at it, it's quite interesting in terms of the different materials used on the floor, such as this like sort of shingle stuff here. You've got tiles and patio sort of stuff, like paving slabs. So yeah, just to get that sort of look, Jack did that for us. These nice signs again, so these are quite interesting. This is the first Transpennine operated station as well. A couple of them are. Grange over Sands is, I think, Arnside, this of course, and I think Barrow are the ones that are operating. Oh, sorry, and Carnforth as well, sorry. So on the left, you will see, unfortunately, it's a mock-up of the John Barrowman monument. Unfortunately, at the moment, we've used some sort of like a form of a tower that came from a reservoir, but maybe one day we may be able to get a custom for that. Originally, it was a chimney pumping smokehouse, but at least we have upgraded that. We can let the 31 stretch its legs a little bit now. Down to Cark. Should get to 60 as well coming over here. I live and hope. I love this livery. It's the first time I've driven it as well. It was really smart. It's different. It looks American. It's based at Bescott as well. It's named Rail Celebrity. 31116. Just as I thought we weren't going to get to 60, we're there already. Working hard as this ped. So we're heading towards the first of the two viaducts on this section, which are, this one's Leven. So we're coming up past the former Plumpton Junction and also Leven Junction. Plumpton Junction, I believe, went to a coke works on the right hand side, which some of it still exists today, I believe, and some of it is in the route, so I'm not sure what its purpose is these days, whether it does the same sort of stuff or totally different, but the building's still there. On the left is, excuse me, towards where the Haverthwaite Railway is now. Obviously not connected to anything, but the junction used to go all the way down that way. If you've got the Stainmore route, which fingers crossed you have because some of the assets of that, you'd actually see that on there as well, and the track does go there. Just one of the lovely scenes of the route. The viaducts are brilliant. There's a slight issue with the model on Steam Sound Supreme's side. I've had a word with Ben, who built the route. Fingers crossed, I may be able to do something with that. I believe it's an LOD issue, so hopefully maybe a fix may come one day for that. So that's one of the 2 AI we'll see on this run today. Quite a quiet period on the route. It's gone past morning rush, of course, so there won't be as many trains for a while on the line. We're just slowing down now for Carlton Carmel. You won't catch me driving with without the hood on many routes. Only because I've been up and down this route so many times in building it. I know where everything is now. Try and catch me drive the West Coast Mainline and with no hood. No chance. We'll stop here because the stop ball's literally just where we are. Pretty untouched this, to be fair, this station. A bit of updated clutter, signs of course, but this one hasn't really changed much from the workshop route. It was pretty decent as it was. It didn't need anything doing. You just put new stock car markers in rather than the ones that were in there originally, and just put these in. To Lancaster and beyond. Will this 31 make it to Lancaster and beyond though? Love it when that field divert kicks in. So you'll see we've got one of the St George's crosses, which are the signs for the crossings. So this crossing coming up, it is in theory, is actually 50 mile an hour for passengers. I think more classes sprinters and stuff. I think it's like loco haul and freight. I think is down to I believe 30, with a bit of a limitation in terms of the crossings that we've got available to us. You can't have a crossing, unfortunately, of what we've got anyway. What does 50 mile an hour with the flashing white light in what we can put down. So we've had to go with one that was 20 mile an hour. So if you want the lights to come on, slow down to about 25. If you're not overly bothered, just sail through it. It ain't going to do anything. It ain't going to change anything. There's no traffic actually going over the road here. It's just if you want it to be realistic and you want the light to come on, just make sure you just slow it down a little bit more. You need to. If we ever have anything available to us that we can change it, then we will. See what it changes to for me. 50. So it is actually 50 for us, but yeah, we're not going to do 50 because I actually want the light to come on. As soon as that light comes on, I just rip it open. We're off again. So we're sort of, it's I think Wade Bridge crossing. Flukeburgh's to the right hand side of us. So the barriers are going down now. And the light comes on and off we go. Kent's Bank is the next station as well, so we're not actually too far from there. Just around the next couple of bends. Go past a bit of a rock cutting. It's 50 for the next section. You can see Morecambe Bay coming into view now as well as we get towards the estuary. So it's got a bit of disused platform on there, so we'll use all the station here just to clear some of the crossing. I think we'll probably, to be quite fair, still have some of the coaches maybe out of it. The stopboard is situated down this end of the platform as well, even though it's disused. And we're still hanging out a bit. So again, nothing's really changed at this one, just the station clutter. Some new crossing stuff being put in here as well, and just the signage as always. All the marshland there. The water don't really come in very much, don't think, down here as well. Hence why you've got the sheep and stuff on there. I think we're good to go. So next stop is Grange over Sands, which is one of my favourite stations on the route. Lovely place as well. If you've never been to Grange over Sands and you're in the area, if you're in the Lake District, do take a trip. Very nice. Nice little walk on the promenade as well, which I'll show you. Get some good vantage points of the line as well, so if there's any nuclear flasks running, you can get yourself some nice pictures. This crossing you get a nice picture of on the curve. It's always a nice one to go to. The Zip Promenade starts coming in here, just on the back end there. Just take you for a quick look down here as well. You've got the old Lido disused now. Ignore there's a few little issues with the building, out of my control unfortunately. It's been one that's been mentioned, but whether it gets fixed again is that it's out of my hands. But we've put the building in there at least because we couldn't have kit bashed that. Got the old footbridge in there, so at the point it was I think being replaced. So I've got it where it's all got the span taken out, some fencing in. But yeah, the promenade is lovely. It's a really nice walk if you're ever in the area. Do come and take a walk down here. There's, if you've got kids as well, there's a play area and stuff in the area here, which is great. Got nice crossings here. So you can get these crossings, you get some decent pictures out as well. Interesting layout with this one as well is there's actually 2 foot crossings, yet 1 gate on each side. I'm not sure if it's to stop people from colliding with each other and so you can have like a one-way system going across. It's actually quite a busy crossing this because it takes you back up to the town up here, to where the shops are. There's always a lot of people, but yeah, this problem's lovely to go and sit and have a walk down, and there's a nice little walkway here. There's a lovely park as well, situated in Grange itself. Used to come here when I was little. Used to actually sit on one of these benches here. I think it might have been this one here. Used to always sit and have a picnic and watch the trains go by and have our lunch. This is quite many years ago though. As well, you can see the train snaking around the coast as well, and you can hear them for ages because there's loads of whistle boards. And it's still semaphore controlled as well, which is nice. See if I can gauge the brakes correctly here, without making a farce out of things. I've made a meal of it. A little bit too slow. So again, as I said before, this is the first operated station. It was. It's now Northern. All the stations are now Northern because Transpennine don't actually operate on this route anymore, sadly. I think they stopped running around 2019, 2020-ish. 185 sort of disappeared then, but I think the last ones were on higher to Northern for a bit before they went. So on that transition takeover. So the station is a custom from Stainmore. It's had a little bit of work done by Ben Yates, who reskinned the signage so it wasn't actually the LMS red style signs. Then Jack's done some extra work and put these new signs in on these little brackets as well, which is really cool. there's all these little bits and pieces. You've got the trains to Barrow, North Cumbria there. You've got the bookstall, a little bookshop signage there, which is in here. Good shop, by the way, here at Counter Grange. Go and have a look in the bookshop. But yeah, there's all sorts of these ones as well. We're going on that side there, and yeah. There's also these fancy ones too, which this platform is for trains to Lancaster in the south. Through the walk, through the subway, for trains to Barrow, North Cumbria. Way out when the ticket hall is closed is that way. So yeah, you can go down here through the subway, and then up there to the station or onto the promenade. You can go down that way, or obviously take that way as well. Got the Grange signal box, which is one from the Staymore route, and the bridge just up in the distance as well came with the route too. So those were both items that we didn't have to have built custom. Saves a bit of time at our end. So we're heading for Arnside next, and also at Arnside, just before you've got the viaduct, so it's Kent's Viaduct, which goes over into Arnside, crosses over there, over the bay. Not too far away, but it's a nice little sprint across. Speeds are up to 60 as well, I think 2007, somewhere around then. And that was when they redid all the bridge. The bridge had a lot of work done. Both of them did. They originally were 30, which is what the route was originally set to, until I figured out that, well, when I say I figured out, Jack figured out and told us that the speeds may be a little bit wrong. Which, to be fair, did actually work, and working with why some of our scenario timings were a little bit hard to meet. So we sorted them out, and everything should be tickety-boo. Also, as well, I think, other than the random fixed red signal, which is semaphore Carnforth, this is the last section of bit of semaphoring on the line. It goes back to lights, normal aspects. We'll stay in a cab for this one this time. You see the town of Arnside on the right hand side there in the distance. Arnside also used to be a junction. It used to go towards, I think it was Hincaster. It used to curve around and then head through that way. Through Sandscale, I think. It's a little town. It was Hincaster Junction. It joined back up onto the West Coast Mainline. Which that route also featured on the Staymore route. So the Staymore Shap route, which is a recommend, doesn't actually continue to Carnforth. That one does turn off, so this one obviously does the whole length back to the West Coast that way. You do get some absolutely stunning views from down here. So if I go down here, we've got a matey boy somewhere that'll be propped up with his camera. He's always here. He loves it. Absolutely loves it. He does. So he's always out here getting photos of the trains going over the bridge. Never missing the moment. So on-side signal box, that again is one of the Stainmore assets. Saves us a bit of time, as is with the footbridge and the little station building on the left hand side. Just helps us out a little bit as well, that does. Again, just a small little station, but you can see here this is where the junction was. So there used to be a platform on the side, and it used to curve off and go off into the distance that way down there, through the little villages along the way. There was a bit of industrial stuff on that line as well. I think it was a quarry halfway up the line. Also, someone's been tossing cones on top of the shelters as well. Oh. Taste the fumes. We've got Silverdale next. So it's Silverdale and then on to Carnforth, where this video will end for part 2. What we'll probably do is we'll save this and we'll probably continue this scenario for the last part of the video. Which will probably follow in about a week or something like that, ideally. So we're into my favourite part of the route now. So we're going to do a little bit of cinematic, well, just a bit of line side watching up there. So we'll be back in a few moments. That section there in the right line, you do get some really nice screenshots. I've used it quite a lot, to be fair, when showcasing stuff on the upcoming of the route. So we've got a section now with about 1 million whistle boards. There's a lot of crossings in this section of route. It drops to 50 as well for a little while. The station is just literally coming up now, so just where that GSMR mast is, it's just by there. So you can just see it coming into view just beyond that on that curve there. So the whistle board there is for the Barrow crossing. And the foot crossing as well, because there's no footbridges on this station. As far as I'm aware, that's the only way. That's the way you get across. I'll stop it there, all the way through, because obviously there's fencing there. Just make sure the loco's just in. Enough doors for people to get out of. Again, nothing much been done here, it's as it was. Just some custom signs, getting a bit of old BR logo in there, and into the good country there. Lancashire Rose. We are now in Lancashire, and there is actually signs that note that on this one. Bit of Lancashire County Council, love it. Lancashire Massive. Sunny Silverdale, the loveliest spot in Morecambe Bay. I'll argue with that at all, I can't really argue, it's lovely, it is nice here. Right, so heading to our last station for this video, which is Carnforth. Only a couple of miles to there. Again, nice little section. Go through the marshlands again. This bit's pretty open. So as well, then when we get into Carnforth, you'll see. I'll take a quick look around West Coast Carnforth as well. That's had some quite a lot of work done to it, as compared to what it was like on the Overshap route. It's totally inaccurate. Didn't have as much track, like hardly any tracking there compared to what there should have been. Gradients were all wrong as well. But massive thanks as well to Sean Gregory for helping out with that. Absolute whiz kid, absolute god of track laying. If I stand up, you see the extent, there's a view. Got the bay there. All the marshland as well on the left. But overflow for that when winter tide comes in and stuff. Just such a photogenic route as well. There's just so many places. I mean, every screenshot I've seen up to now, they've all been belting what people have been taking. There's places I've not used yet for screenshots, and I've found other people have used little areas they've found. It's just nice to see. Just loading the tile at Carnforth there. There we go. As soon as it sorts itself out. Oh, I've got the missing turn tape. Ignore this. And I can't even crop this out. There isn't actually a nuclear tower at Carnforth. There's a so there's a turntable. The turntable that's in there now is a new one, but there's a milk bottle where the existing one was. But every time we try to take the milk bottle out, it dumps the game, so it's there and it has to stay. But you don't see it. It's weird. It's not visible, the second turntable. I've tried removing it over and over again, but it just doesn't like doing it. Could probably do an OW tools, but I daren't trust it in case it breaks it and it just kills the route. But normally you don't see the milk bottle. It's in the centre of where the actual turntable base is, so you'd never see it. Just because I've stupidly forgot I've got the missing asset cooling tower in, which I need to change back over. It's because I was doing some other work, some OCS stuff for the Harrogate loop, just making sure there was nothing missing before I sent that out. And I totally forgot to put it back in as a normal milk bottle. You've got the old sidings on the side there, not as much as there was. Used to be a junction that connected through to the little northwestern line, but that's severed off. You can see some of these signs are all cut off and just bits of track left over, and still got the gauge. One of them gauge things that goes over. I'm going to go through this tower. I'm just going to go around it. Unbelievable. Anyway, yeah, we're not going to look at that. I'm going to slow it down for 10. So another signal box, which is one from Jack Hales. Another lovely job that he's put in there for us. Just going to sit here so we don't have to look at the tower. Got Steamtown there as well. At least doing that has reminded me to change the milk bottle over before I do something like streaming it or whatever. It's a handy tool to have though if you do have missing assets and you're not too sure where the milk bottles are. You can get off Mully's website, which just overwrites the original one, but I do recommend that you back up the original milk bottle before you install it, just so you can flip it back and forward if you needs be, which is what I should do. I backed it up but never put it back in. I'm going to put it back in when I finish this video. This is Carnforth. We'll stop this at the end of the platform because it's quite a lengthy train. So we're joining up at the West Coast Mainline. You see the overhead wiring's just kicked in. Station unfortunately hasn't changed. It's just got some new clutter and a bit of a tidy up compared to its original look. I'd love to have a custom station here maybe one day, but who knows? At the moment, it just hasn't happened. So what I'll do is I'm just going to save the game here because this is where I'll continue for the next video. Just take a quick look around, mainly at the station area and just around the depot without looking at that monstrosity of a tower. So yeah, you've got all the signs back there. Got some new little bits and pieces. You've got the signage on the side there. New shed as well. So this is the actual shed front here, which was done by Bradley Milligan. So again, thanks to Bradley for that. Lovely little job. Callum's done the cell side signal box. So this is a grade 2 listed structure which came from the S&C. Unfortunately, it's in a very, very poor condition these days, and it's a shame that it's gone to this, but it's one of them. Unfortunately, it's got loads of smashed windows. It's all battered and loads of panels missing, which is what Callum's gone for the model on this as well. He's sort of replicated that, which is really cool. But yeah, it's just a shame it is as it is. It's got an interior though. You can have a look in there. Also, the other signal box is this one. So you may remember on West Coast over Shap, there was a building at the end of the Carnforth Station which was like a generic building, just retextured. So we've now got an actual signal box. It's a former signal box, well, it was before it went to that one over there. So that stands there proudly still. Again, it's got a little interior, so you can at least come in and get a little vantage shot. Or maybe the towers and all the locos in there. It's got the two Colin towers in there. It's just got some of the sheds and stuff in there. A little bit on the kit bash side, but it's a better representation of what it was. Again, there's a lot more extra tracks in here and stuff like that as well. The advert board there. Again, it's one of the ones that that's one of the ones that Jack did. It's quite cool. Looks quite cool when you go past it as well. But yeah, so that is where we're at. I need to try and hide that tower. There we go. What a bloody mess. Apologies for that. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you go and download it. If you haven't updated it, make sure you do update to 1.2. There'll be more scenarios over time as well. Keep looking. There's loads of scenarios that have started popping up on ATS as well. Some random little bits and pieces here and there. There's nice, a few interesting ones. Some rel tours have popped up too. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell for the future videos. We're trying to do a video every 2 days if we can at the moment. Trying to keep it nice and busy for all you. Keep you with plenty of content. Don't forget to catch on Twitch, twitch.tv/trainsim_TV. Usually Thursdays and Sundays. Come and join us for the Carnage. Come and say hello if you've not been in there before. Be nice to see some new faces. But yeah, cheers. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next video very soon. Take care and bye for now, guys.